Hey, I made some new features today. They're not really big features, but they're definitely things that you would expect a code editor to do and to have. One of them is this information bar down here. It tells you the column and row that the caret is currently at in the frame, the size of the font, how many lines are in the text, and how many characters are in the text. Most info bars like these that I've seen don't tell you the size of the font, but the reason why I put the size of the font in there is because I also made it possible to where if you press Control and either scroll up or down, it will make the font bigger or smaller depending on the direction that you scrolled. And that gives me an indicator right there. Now I know that my font's at 26 pixels. Now, that piece of information might seem kind of arbitrary, but what if I just always liked my font at 18, you know, or something like that, that I could easily just scroll up to that, or I would know that, you know, that gives me something more to go by than just, oh, looks good, you know. And also it's information, and this is the information bar, so information belongs in the information bar. I'm sure I will find more information to put in there before this is all said and done. Another thing that I want to use this bar for is right here. I want to have it to where, like, let's say I clicked right there, it would say void door blocked right here, letting me know that that's the function that I'm currently inside of. That's going to be a tricky feature. It's going to be a tricky feature because the only way that this will ever happen is if I'm past the first curly bracket. So I need to work backwards and then work forwards to find the true tail. But there could be problems with that as well. What if I was right here? I don't want that one. I want this one. But how do I know that? That's gonna be a tricky feature. I'm not gonna lie. That's gonna put my regex and parsing skills to the test right there. I'm really good at working forward. I've never even considered working backwards. So we'll see. But that feature is going to happen. I mean, I'm not saying that we'll see if it'll happen. I'm just saying we'll see. Actually, I don't even know why I'm saying that, because we're not going to see anything but that happen. It's going to take a lot to make it happen. I also worked a bunch on the mouse interaction and a little bit on optimizing this this scrollable code map. If you notice, it pops up really fast. You know, a lot faster than it was before. And the reason why is because when it loaded in this text, it automatically took one picture. And since no changes have been made to this text, when you hover that bar, it says, nope, no changes were made. Just get whatever picture we already have. So that's why it's fast, is the picture is already there. If we just make one change, literally just that's all we need to do. Any change is a change. Now you notice there's a lag. See? That was probably like half a second, or maybe like 0.7 of a second, something like that, as opposed to instant. But now it'll be instant again because I haven't made any other changes. So that's one optimization I made. It's not the best optimization, but it's better than before, where it just, as soon as you hover that bar, it's going to go get a fresh picture every time. At least I have some manner of eliminating that to some degree. Also, there was a lot of states that could happen when you interact with this bar that I was not at all accounting for. I'll give you, for instance, obviously touching the scroll track brings up the code map. You click, it takes away the code map because now you want control of your scroll thumb. But let's say I fell off the board, right? Now, to get back on the board, I have to cross over the same scroll track that when you hover it brings up the code map. But that would look glitchy, right? I'm just trying to get back into the code field. I'm not trying to look at the code map. So why would the code map appear? And if you notice, when I came in, it didn't. And that's because now that situation is being accounted for. But it didn't go away. It's still there. It just knows that I'm coming back in from outside the stage. And that was tricky. That was really tricky because there is no kind of event or anything that I could find that indicated that you had definitely left the window. I had to invent well, I mean, I guess invent's not the right word. I had to seriously just go through like all kinds of possibilities until I nailed down some that make it highly likely that you've probably left the window. So that's really what the situation is here, is that it's just very, when you leave the window, there's decisions being made that consider it highly likely that you've left the window. So it could be considered that you've highly likely left the window even though you haven't, although I highly doubt that's going to happen, because the only situation where it's trying to determine this is when you're dealing with the scroll bar. And I just don't see that mattering. Like if I'm over here typing or something, it's not going to think I left the window. Or if I'm over here typing and I bring my mouse away where it's not in the window, it's not going to just think it's highly likely that I've left the window, because I haven't made this interaction for it to start making those kind of decisions. So it's just as good as I can get it. You know, it's not perfect land. It would be nice if it is. God knows I try so hard to write good, clean code and constantly thinking about how to optimize it and make it faster and better, but sometimes things are just the best they're going to be. So as far as like determining whether or not you've truly left the window, I think that's probably about as good as it's going to be. And it's not bad. It's a decent little system. As you can see, the code editor does not pop up when I come back. I have to actually hover. And actually I have another thing. I wanted it to be to where if you were a little bit precise, you didn't have to worry about the code thing if you just didn't go halfway. So like I can grab the thumb without it ever coming up, because you actually technically have to be that far for the code map to show up. I mean, that's some precise shit. I don't know anybody that's scrolling or grabbing the thumb with that much precision, but that it's there. If you didn't want the code map to come up, just don't go all the way over. Don't go halfway over the bar. Go less, just enough to grab the thumb. I mean, and then there's also the fact that you don't even have to grab the thumb at all. You can just click and go wherever you want. And as long as you don't go halfway, you won't see the code map. I don't know how else to buffer the code map a little bit. I mean, if somebody else has some better ideas, I'd love to hear them. Obviously, I'll eventually make it to where in settings you can just turn off the code map if you don't like it. But until that time, I'm really just trying to find some kind of way to put it there, but also at the same time kind of keep it out of your face, or give you the ability to keep it out of your own face. How about that? So I don't know. Those are the things that I've worked on today. I will tell you that the mouse interaction is all this. That's a lot. That's a whole lot to just pop up a preview bar. Like that's all that's doing is deciding whether or not it should pop up or remove the preview bar. That's it. But that's a lot, and there is no way to slim that down. I literally have to listen for all these events because all these events give me an indication of something that's happening on the bar, and if something's happening, I need to do something about it. So that's that. I mean, I think I've probably covered every single solitary possibility available to the bar in a hover, mouse down, mouse move, mouse up situation. So there's that. But anyway, that's it. That's all the stuff I've done, and there'll be more. I'll be back around in the near future. Y'all have a good night or day, whatever it is, wherever you are.